This is GentlemanSeductionRelease.com, help you release your best for women and beyond. And today we're talking about the easiest way to keep a conversation going with these girls. Now for this video, I want to particularly focus on bitches outside of your culture, because ultimately I think those are the biggest struggles. Now, you talk to a hot chick, yeah, you may not have nothing to say, but what I find, for example, I live in New York City, so if you want to be good with girls here, you're gonna have to quickly be able to adapt to, bagging and talking to chicks that are outside of your culture. If you only feel comfortable, like I know plenty of pretty boy dudes in the hood or good looking dudes in the good part of the city where they be killing it with the pretty girls in their part of the city, but when it comes to other types of cultures, it's like you're not really sure how to penetrate. Maybe if you're in an institutionalized place like college, it's easier to kind of mesh with people and whatnot, but when you're actually in society, it's kind of hard to cross that boundary sometimes. Like, you walking down the street, some hot Russian chick, you go up to her, she has some Russian accent, you don't know shit about Russians or you don't know shit about Russian culture, you're not sure what to say. Or even if you do have a little bit of say, you're not really sure how to deeply penetrate the bitch to have that passionate conversation that's gonna build that rapport for her to see you a second time. Now, I don't want you to overcomplicate the shit, because I find that a lot of times that's also the main problem is, for example, you think, oh man, well I'm from over here, like what are we gonna have in common? You're thinking all this random shit when you don't even make it that complicated. You ask them where they are and you speak to them with enthusiasm. They say they're Russian. Here's something I would do a lot. If I didn't know a little bit about the person, I would just say the little bit that I knew, but I would hype it up. Other times, if I didn't know shit, what I would do, here's my bread and butter technique. You can steal this shit. Wherever they said they were from, which in New York, if you're like in a place like Manhattan, you can meet bitches from all over and you won't expect it. Maybe you're prepared, you're thinking she's one thing and she tells you something totally different. So a lot of times what I would do is I would lie my ass off. If a chick says she was from a certain country, I would say, oh wow, I had a friend who was from there and she was really blah blah blah. A lot of times I would go with something safe, like, oh, she had like a really cool energy or like a really good energy about her, like a real genuine kind of energy. Most people, they're not gonna want to say that their people suck ass and don't have a good energy, so most people are just gonna take the compliments. So for example, I'm walking down the street, I go up to a Russian chick, she tells me she's from Russia or from Czechoslovakia or whatever the case. Maybe I bullshit and I say I know a friend. I make sure I mention that it's a girl, because you know how girls are. I don't even need to say why this is a good idea. I mentioned that I knew a friend and she was Russian and she used to have really good food, or she had really good energy, and I liked that about her. I like the fact that all the Russian people I came across had a very direct energy. Now this is a real story, and this is something that I actually have said that I actually do think is true. Like, Russian people have a very direct energy. It's probably because they didn't grow up super rich out of all the white people in Europe, so that just tends to be a universal poor thing. So a lot of times, like, if I go up to southern chicks in the South, there's kind of a connection in the sense, even though we're worlds apart, but there's the connection through that direct kind of culture. Now this is off topic, but this is just an example of exactly what I mean. By the way, bro, if it's your first time here and you're interested in dating, relationships, self-improvement, and motivational content, start now by hitting that subscribe and bell notification button so you can join that Unleash notification game, bro, so you don't miss anything. So with that being said, get back to the video. You want to ask the bitch open-ended questions, but questions that lead to her talking about her passion in a way where you can relate that shit back to your passion. But the only thing is, a lot of times we think to ourselves, hey man, this bitch is into fucking ice skating. I'm into video games, or I'm into, that's a terrible example, but just something else. You're into a passion, she's into some girly shit. You're like, man, how do I even relate to that? Here's what you do. You relate instead to each other's passions while you're doing it. For example, let's say the bitch likes to ice skate, or she likes to draw or something like that. If she's passionate about that, you ask her, like, how did that get started? Like what got you started? Maybe she got introduced to it by a family member that she loved when she was when she was growing up as a kid, or maybe she got introduced to it by it could be a whole story that deeply goes into her roots, her background, all types of shit that's just gonna create that rapport, and also just create that moment where she almost forgets that she's even talking to you. Like, she's like, oh shit, like I'm telling all this information and I didn't even realize it up until right now. And then at that point, she's kind of looking at you like, hey, he's not that bad. And then you're gonna be standing there finding yourself thinking, hey man, this isn't that difficult either. Yeah, we're worlds apart, but that also is a reason for you to have so much to talk about. Because if you're like some dude in your 20s and you're dating all these college bitches in your dorm, and they're all just a bunch of goofy college bitches, just Netflix and chilling, watching the same shows, Game of Thrones. It's like, in a sense, what the fuck do you have to talk about with that bitch? I mean, you already know everything she's gonna say. Some goofy celebrity gossip shit, some shit on TV, some debate, political shit, like goofy shit. It's great when you step outside your comfort zone and you just push yourself past that boundary. Just talk to bitches out, especially because a lot of times I think with us, we tend to stay in our own bubbles as humans, so we get the feeling like every bitch is, don't get me wrong, every bitch is the same to a certain degree. They all fucking crazy, but not every bitch has the same conditions. And when we're only exposed to women of the same conditions, a lot of times we give passes for certain things that are toxic as fuck, and we don't even realize it until we're around like other chicks. Like when you're around some foreign chicks, you might be like, wow, these girls, they're a lot more feminine, or they're just more reserved, and maybe that's something you vibe with more. Like a lot of dudes go outside of America and they're like, man, these bitches in other countries, like they worship me, or they're just way more calmer. They're not as, oh, what you gonna bring to the table, like a fucking American female or whatnot. Now, there might be dudes in other countries who feel the opposite, who might meet a chick in America and be like, you know, I like her energy. She's just more exciting than other chicks, or maybe not, who knows. So ask open-ended questions. Ask open-ended questions about her passions, her hobbies, her family, you know, her interests, her, you know, deep questions that are beyond surface level. But here's the thing, when she does answer the question, man, you gotta answer the bitch back with some shit about yourself. Don't be like these motherfuckers that just be out here, you ask the bitch a question, she spill her whole life story, and then you go, oh cool, so what was that like? Motherfucker, that conversation is gonna lead to a dried ending that's flat as fuck so quick it's not even gonna be funny. Whenever she says, make sure you say something back. If she reveals something about herself, you have to be ready and willing to reveal something about yourself. Especially if she says something really passionate, she reveals it, you have to respond back with some energy. You have to know when to push pull. It's not always just push pull whenever the fuck. If she responds with something, she gives you something, you have to validate it to a certain extreme. If she doesn't know you and now she's giving you real personal information, you have to show some enthusiasm and give back your own information. Otherwise, she's gonna feel like a fucking goofy bitch for just saying all this shit, and now you're just standing there going, oh cool. Come on. So for example, I used to box when I was 16, only for like a year, which ain't shit. But you know, I'm a lifelong boxing fan. I could talk about this shit all fucking day. So if I meet a girl, I might tell her that, you know, I was really passionate about boxing, and just it was therapeutic when I was in the ring, and you could just turn everything off from the outside. And even though you're getting hit in the face, which seems horrible, in a way it's like a beautiful bliss, because your mind is off and you're just focusing on the art and the beauty of punching motherfuckers in the face and trying not to, you know, get punched in the face yourself. So if I meet a girl who's talking about her own passion, I could talk about this, but because I feel comfortable describing myself, because I'm not sitting there thinking, oh my God, I don't have shit in common, oh fuck, what do I say, I'm just focusing on my energy, on the things that mean shit to me, and just relating it back to her, regardless if the specific topics themselves relate. It doesn't matter. When she's talking about her passion and how she loves to do it because she zones out herself, because she kind of forgets all her problems, and then I say some shit for myself, it's gonna be a relation, and you never know. You might end up meeting a chick where she has nothing in common, but maybe one key thing, maybe y'all have nothing in common, but maybe one TV show you both watch and y'all connect on that, and that will be the fucking catalyst for sparking the conversation up, getting that energy to skyrocket and go exactly where you want it to go. So what about you, bro? Do you have any personal techniques or things that you use to keep the conversation going that work for you? If so, leave below in the comments and I'd love to read that shit. So if you enjoyed that dope ass kick ass video and you want to see more on dating, relationship, self-improvement, and motivational content, hit that button right there. Hit that bitch right there so you can join that Unleash notification gang, bro, so you don't miss anything. So with that being said, gentlemen, unleash your best, and remember, until next time, confidence is bred by competence. Peace.